I'm not gonna like put the Blumhouse system into another genre. I found my home here. I'm very happy with it.
Angela?
If you can hear this, we love you. Please come home.
Thank you so much for your time. Recently, I had the chance to talk to Guillermo del Toro, and he said that even though for us, the audience, they're just movies sometimes, for filmmakers, each movie is part of their autobiography. They represent all the time that they invest in a project instead of spending time with your families or doing whatever else. Why did you feel that this movie was worth being part of your autobiography at this point in your time?
That's a beautiful question, because I feel the exact same way Guillermo does. I think that this movie was a way to take an iconic international title that every film lover in the world knows, and something so epic and appealing, and something that we know is a terrifying horror movie, and find a way to take the 14-year-old version of me that monitors all of the films that I make, and make sure this movie that we create is honoring a movie that was very meaningful to me, and yet now can be sculpted in a way that is very personal storytelling about parenthood, about community, about these themes that I find really relevant in today's culture.
I also think that's a very that's a great way to kind of frame working on movies. And I do think about all the movies that we've done. I think about the time of my life and everything changed, or the things that changed as a result of the movie, which is interesting. The Exorcist was the scariest movie ever made. So for us, it was like the ultimate. You know, it's something I've wanted to do for a long, long time, and I feel like the company was at the right place in kind of its trajectory to take it on.
Yeah, you're right. It's basically the scariest movie of all time. So you've basically conquered the whole genre at this point. Is there any other genre that you're interested in producing, like with this same business model even, or is your path going to be horror mostly?
Not really. You know, we stray every so often, and there are always a few movies I'm working on that are kind of adjacent to, but not directly horror movies. But I'm not gonna like put the Blumhouse system into another genre. I found my home here. I'm very happy with it.
He'll leave that to me.
I'll leave that to you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll leave that to David.
Opening doors.
Yeah, I'll leave that to David.
Awesome. David, how much did you get involved in the technical aspect of this movie? Like, we know how in depth you get with the actors and the characters, but what about camera and lighting and
lenses? Those are all really important, and we're really lucky to have a loyal group of creative collaborators, technicians, and artists that have worked with us through the Halloween movies, many of them through film school. Like my co-writer Peter Sattler and I went to film school together, and Danny McBride, who we cracked the story together, we were in film school together. And so it's really valuable to have that circle of trust, right? And then you take the compelling technical elements of William Friedkin's editing style and sound design and the authenticity of his casting and performances in that movie, and then you make it your own. And you're very involved in everything from Chris Nelson's spectacular makeup as these young actresses are going into 2.5 hours of prosthetics. Because if those if that makeup job could be incredible, but if you don't light it right, it all goes down the toilet. So everything has to be integrated, from the color of the wall juxtaposed to the wardrobe of the talent standing in front of it, the makeup on their face and the lighting, how the camera moves, what we see, what we don't see is often scarier than what we do see, and being able to play those psychological and artistic games, surprise versus suspense. And I think all these things that you have to think 6 months ahead of time in not just the editing room, but test screening the audience and wondering, is there an alt that maybe I want to get just in case this scare doesn't work or this line isn't clear? Are there any things that you want to play with? So I find that group of the team that I have the ability to work with through Blumhouse and so many of the friends that we've made working together, really compelling and collaborative.
And coming from the massive project that was Halloween, the Halloween trilogy, and now this, is your focus mostly on this big projects now, or are you eager to go on some more passion projects down the road?
I'm all over the place, and on the plane to Mexico yesterday, I'm writing a family comedy, and I've got ideas that I want to explore outside of any genre that I've done. I've never done a documentary, so I have all these itches that the film student in me is waiting to scratch.
What are you going to do a documentary on?
I almost said it out loud. I'll save that. I'll save that for lunch.
Okay.
I almost got a scoop for you.
I know, right?
I almost broke some news.
Almost. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.